Hey guys, Tony here from Rolling with the Bullets. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, welcome. If you liked the video, consider subscribing for future updates. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for tuning back in. On this channel, we talk about what it's like to live a full life of full-time travel, full-time RV, and a lot of other things along the way. Now, me and my wife have been doing this for going on 3 years. Now, when we originally planned to become full-time RVers, we probably should have planned it a little longer than what we did. We transitioned after about 6 months from stick and brick, after all those years, into an RV. Now, we took a crash course. That's that's an understatement of what it's really like to become a full-time RVer and getting rid of everything. So with that being said, our experience of downsizing from a home into a small square footage motor home, we went to I think we were like 2,800 square feet, and we went down to about 100 and something square feet. Got a little bug here, it just keeps trying to fly at my nose. But anyhow, we transitioned into that right there in about 6 months. Now, what we did was we sold off everything that we did not use. What we couldn't sell, we donated, give away, give it to kids, all those kind of things. Now, a lot of you who are watching this video, you got some sort of thought of maybe possibly becoming full-time RV, and you have those same set of questions that we had. What am I going to do with all this stuff? Well, after living in our place for as long as we did, and all the things that we had in our basement, and all the things we had in our attics, and things that we thought we hold dear to ourselves, but come to the end of the day, if you're really holding it dear to yourself, it would have been out someplace where you could have enjoyed it and used it, touched it, felt it, seen it. But when it's in storage, it's really just something that's just stuff. And once you realize that, stuff does not define you, then you can transition a little easier into full-time life. Now, I will say this. If you're sitting at home and you're considering a life of full-time travel, these are some of the things you should really take into consideration and things you need to ask yourself. One, are you going to have a job that's going to sustain your life on the road? That's the biggest thing. There's multiple ways of making a living on the road, but ideally what you should do is find a job, or if you have a job that you can take with you on the road, that's ideal. But for some people, that's not ideal. They don't have a job that will allow them to travel. And I'm going to be making another video and breaking down how to find employment on the road if you're unable to take your current employment with you on the road. We've been very fortunate that we can do our jobs from the road. I drive a tractor trailer, so if there's any guys watching out here that drive a tractor trailer, I can hook you guys up on the same set. I've got a job that I had that allows me to do this. My wife also, she pulls records online, so she can work from anywhere in the United States from the RV, as long as we've got a good substantial internet connection. But before you just jump in both feet and become full-time RVers, that's definitely the biggest thing you need to ask yourself, is what you're going to do for a living. Number two, do you have a rig? Do you have a rig that's going to accommodate you? Do you have a rig that's going to accommodate the things you feel that you need for day-to-day life? Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy the biggest, baddest RV on the planet. That's not what I'm telling you, because one thing's for sure, as long as we've been doing this and the several different rigs we've been in, doesn't matter whether it's a $100,000 RV or a $1,000 RV. They're all going to give you a problem. You're all going to spend the same kind of money getting things repaired. So you do not need to jump in completely in debt to become a full-time RVer. Start modest. That's the biggest thing I can tell you guys. Start modest. Buy what you can afford, what you can pay cash for. That's my thoughts on that subject, is buy what you can pay cash for comfortably without breaking the bank. Because I can guarantee you the first rig you take off in will not be your last rig living a life on the road. Now, we did a year, maybe a little bit over a year and a half in our first rig, and now we're on to our fifth wheel now from a Class A motorhome. And we're considering going smaller again. When's that going to be? I don't know. Right now, this one's servicing us just fine. We're very content with the rig we have. Now, back to a few things. Like, if you're not real certain that this is going to be a lifestyle for you, I do not advise selling off everything you own, getting rid of all your furniture. I don't advise, basically just throwing everything out and just jumping in. I would recommend renting a storage unit. Go in cheap on an RV if you don't already own one. rent a storage unit, give yourself 6 to 8 months to see if this is going to be a lifestyle that you can enjoy. Because if it's not, you can either go back to your apartment. If you have a house, maybe consider renting it out before you sell it, of course, That way you have something to go back to if this is not the lifestyle for you. That's what I would say is a better course of action, especially if you've never been a full-time RVer. We've seen countless amount of people who started out full-time RV the same time we did. A lot of them started YouTube channels, so did we. But a lot of these people, they're no longer doing the full-time RV life. It's either it did not work out for them, it became something that was more of a nuisance to them, or they just got tired of travel. And yes, you can burn yourself out on travel being a full-time RVer. Sometimes it's nice just to park for a while and sit in one area for a few months and kind of recharge your batteries. Now, with that being said, a lot of these people had to start over from square one because they got rid of everything. An apartment, you can always get a new apartment, and probably in a better place or a nicer apartment than you had when you left. So if you're living in an apartment, that's really not that big a deal. The house thing, yeah, you have to try to figure out what you're going to do with your house, but there's other ways. You can pay to have a service, go in, take care of the lawn if you're in a place where the grass is going to grow the entire time you're gone. And, you can take care of all those things right there, but you don't have to sell your house. But, keep in mind that's going to be an added expense to your bottom line living full-time RV. Now, the other thing a lot of people portray is you can get away so much cheaper as a full-time RVer. It can be done, but you have to take into consideration that is very minimal. That's a lot of boondocking. And what boondocking is going off grid, no hookups, and out in the middle of nowhere, usually by yourself. No convenience store, no McDonald's, things like that. Right there, you got to be very self-sufficient. So you can get away very cheap that way. There's also different programs, that you can buy into. Like, we're 1,000 Trail members. We get, so many weeks for free at some of these nice resorts out here in the Southwest where we currently are, which is very nice because most of these places are $500+ a week. And we're paying absolutely nothing because of our one-time yearly membership fee with 1,000 Trails. There's also Passport America. Passport America also can save you up to 50%, and I think it's right around $45 or $50 a year. Those are ways you can save money to get away a little bit cheaper, but there's a lot of places that do not honor either 1,000 Trails or Passport America. So you're paying full premium prices, and if you're going to be in an area during its peak season, be prepared that you're going to pay higher prices for camping. We've been out on the East Coast in Ohio where we're from. We were there during the summer months when that's the big camping season there. Most of the stuff was between $400 and $500 a week, and sometimes that's only electric, not full hookups. You don't always get full hookups for these prices, so you want to take that into consideration. It can be done cheaply, but you have to live at minimal. But average cost for us in places is about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. With our fuel, food, phones, and now truck payment because we replaced our tow vehicle, those are going to be right around $35,000 to $4,000 a month for us. Living the way we are now, that's staying in nice RV parks, nice campgrounds, getting full hookups, and car insurance, phone bill, food, dog food, pets care, and whatnots to that nature. But these are the things you need to ask yourself. Are you prepared to pay these kind of prices when you're being on the road? Because like I said, it can become quite costly living full-time RV. And you want to live minimal, you can get away with a lot less. I've seen people doing it for less than $1,000 a month, but they're also giving up some creature comforts to do that. And like I said, a lot of channels, they'll portray how much money they're saving by becoming a full-time RVer. It really just depends on where you're originally from. Now, if you're in California and you come over into the middle of the country and you're paying $200 or $300 a month to stay someplace at an RV park plus electric, maybe $400 or $500 altogether, well, yeah, you're saving a ton of money over what you'd have been doing if you were from California or places where the cost of living is just completely bananas. So yeah, you can get away cheaply being a full-time RVer. But like I said, with these kind of things that can cost you money, you need to ask yourself, am I willing to either pay that, give up this, give up that? Because if you're not, you're going to go back to your stick and brick. That's why I said maybe rent a storage unit for 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year, before you just jump in both feet and get rid of everything you have, because then you have to go back and start over again. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to be negative, but a lot of people don't make it in this lifestyle. They don't, flourish in this way, because it's a lot harder than a lot of people portray, even here on YouTube, and a lot of people you talk to about how nice it is. Now, could it be nice for them? Yes, it could be absolutely peaches and cream for them. They never had a problem once in their entire RVing lifestyle. But then there's the others who have issues, and I'm a realist here. You're going to have an issue. We had to replace our tow vehicle. We were completely paid off on our other vehicle. Now we have a newer truck, and a nice big fat payment comes along with that new truck. So that added to our bottom line. So, but like I said, these are things that you should really think and consider. But if you're going to go ahead and jump in both feet and just go do this, then there's ways to get rid of your items. You can either donate, give as much stuff away as possible, have yard sales, which or go to flea markets. Personally, I would rather just donate it, because honestly, the time you pack it around and do this, do that with it, it just really becomes a pain in the butt. Maybe just call Goodwill and have them come to the house and take anything and everything you don't want. They pack it out, you just clean up after you're done, and it's so much easier that way. But like I said, that's my suggestion is, maybe rent a storage unit, go out and test the lifestyle and go do the things you want to do. But back to the employment. There's so many ways to make roads out here, like I said, roads. Make a living on the road. And I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and put a video together to show people who are not able to obtain this type of work now. This is work anywhere from general day laborers up to executives and stuff like that. But I'm going to get deeper into that subject on the next video, or maybe not the next video, but a video in here very soon. Got to get everything together, that way I can show you guys a rundown of where, how, and who to contact to live this lifestyle and still be gainfully employed. Now, back to transitioning into the full-time RV life. It's some people, it's very easy for them to do. If you've always been nomadic in nature, you like to travel, you like to camp, then transitioning into an RV is really not going to be that big a deal for you to transition into an RV over a stick and brick. Because half time, if you're an RVer or you're a camper before you decided to live this lifestyle, it's just it feels like vacation to you, but with a little bit more stuff to do, because you do have to go to work, and it's not just I'm off work and hanging out. But some of the things that you need to think about is, like, when you're living full-time like this, when you're in travel, you got to find your route. If you got an RV that's quite large, tall, which they all are, you have height clearance and restrictions. You got to plan your routes of which way you're going to go, so you don't rip the roof off of your RV. No driving through the McDonald's drive-thru. I see some videos of somebody doing that here recently, just ripped the air conditioning and everything off their RV. Wow. Yeah, you can't just go through the drive-thru at the local McDonald's or whatever. you just can't do that kind of stuff when you got an RV. You actually either have to get out, walk in, and get your num-nums that way. Don't go through the drive-thru. But yeah, you got to take those into consideration. Make the route that you're going to use, be planned for your stops, fuel stops, your maintenance. You've got to, before you take off, make sure everything's secured in your RV so you don't break your items, your personal belongings. Check your tire pressures, check your wheel bearings, check your lug nuts, make sure all your lights are working, make sure all your bays are closed, locked. Then you also have to do the same thing on your tow vehicle. And this is not just a vehicle, it's towing a rig. This is whether you have a motorhome or not. You need to check all these things. So this is the other part of where it's not quite as easy being like living in a stick and brick, because you have more things to do. You have more responsibility with your rig. The other thing is, you have to find a water source. You have to find either power source, a place to dump your tanks, and all these things contribute to this is your normal daily life. And then you got to worry about sub-freezing temperatures if you're someplace when it's not ideal weather, because not everybody can chase 70 degrees depending on work. So you'll have the winterize your RV and live a little differently with frozen pipes and ways to try to make your pipes not frozen. There's a lot of things to consider before becoming full-time RV. Is one, if you're going to be in a place where it's cold, it's going to be a lot harder to sustain life in one of these. Yes, they have furnaces and everything, air conditioners, just like you do in your home, but your water lines coming from outside into your RV, they're not underground like you have in your apartment or your house. You have to plan accordingly to keep your water from freezing and busting pipes in your RV, because it's not that easy to replace all the lines in your RV when you bust one of those, or you pop one of your hot water tank because it wasn't running and it was full 6 gallons of water and it froze solid and just expanded and popped and busted and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of variables before you become full-time RV that you really need to start thinking about as you're doing your planning stage. So there's where I say maybe keep your stuff to see if this is really going to be the lifestyle you really want to live. And like I said, if you're going to travel alone, if you're a man, you can probably get away with a lot less. But if you're going to travel with someone, you got to make sure your rig's big enough. I mean, because really that's the biggest thing, is if you're both not happy because you're crammed up each other's hiney the entire time, and it just makes it kind of rough being a full-time RV. Now, like I said, we absolutely love it, but our jobs allow us to travel around. But do we have issues? Yes, we have issues just like everybody else does out here, but we're, I guess, more forthcoming and letting you guys know that we had an issue, versus what some just kind of keep it to themselves and just move on. Or you get some of the ones who want to, I guess, e-beg. Oh, I broke down, I need somebody to help me, fix my rig. Well, this is going to sound horrible, but you really need to be able to take care of those things on your own before you become a full-time RVer. You got to plan for this kind of stuff. Did we plan on buying a new truck? No, we did not plan on buying a newer truck. It had to happen. Did we have the X amount of dollars to go pay cash for said newer truck? No, we had to utilize a financial institution, and that right there in itself is something that is kind of hard to do when you're a full-time RVer, and I will discuss that in another video. My plan is to put a little more all-inclusive videos together on certain topics of how to purchase a vehicle if you're from out of state and you're a full-time RVer, how to get through this, get these things done, how to gain employment as a full-time traveler, because not everybody will look at you as far as employment. If you're not from that state and don't have a residence in that state, some of these people don't want to employ you. And I have a way to get you taken care of to where you can actually get these things done to obtain employment. And some of the employment that I'm going to be bringing to you guys in a later video will absolutely show you how to go about getting with these companies that have offices and actually have work all over the country. But like I said, guys, this video is getting a little bit long. I hope some of the information I threw towards you will help out a little bit. And like I said, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Be happy to try to answer it the best I can. But don't be scared away by what I said about full-time RV life. Just take a real hard look at whether you're willing to live a lot differently than what you are in your stick and brick. Until next time, guys, this is Tony saying thanks for watching. Come back and check us out, and we'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.